Welcome to English Without Limits. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about asking questions. Questions are important because very often we need to get the information. So we are always asking questions. So that means this is information that you will use a lot as you speak English. I hope you enjoy the lesson. In our last lesson, we were learning about different kinds of nouns, count nouns and non-count nouns. We have different ways that we speak about them and different ways that we measure them when you have more than one or more than just a little of something. Let's join the class as they begin to review about count and non-count nouns.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Okay.
You're okay?
Excellent.
Excellent. Very good. Good. Well, we're going to quickly review what you learned in the last lesson before we go on to our next topic today. So who can remember what we learned in the last lesson?
The present.
That was the lesson before. Remember words like rain and...
We can't count rain.
Oh, that's right, air. We learned about count and non-count nouns. Right? So things, nouns that we can count, nouns that we cannot count, and how we use them differently in sentences. So I'm going to quiz you guys and see, is that a count noun or a non-count? Non-count. I say there was a lot of snow. That's right. I don't say snows. There was lots of snows. Okay? Dishes. Count. I would say there were many dishes in the sink, right?
No count.
Fog. Count or non-count?
No count.
Non-count. Let's use fog in a sentence. There was a lot of fog in the morning. Very good. Oh, I skipped one. How about this one? House. Count or non-count? Count. Can we count? Let's use it. On my street, there are
3 houses.
3 houses, right. Remember with count nouns, we can add an S, right, to show plural. With non-count nouns, we don't add an S, like snow, right? We just leave it. And also, one thing that we've just been doing, to take it a little bit further, is when it's a count noun, I say, there are many houses, or there are 3 houses. When I'm using a non-count noun, do I say there are many fog? No. I say there is a lot of fog, right?
Did you say fogs?
Fogs. No, because it's a non-count, right? So let's just practice a few more, and then we're going to move on. You guys remember this very, very well. Oh, that's upside down. Frost. What is that? Is it count or non-count? Non-count. So let's use it in a sentence. What would I use? In the winter, there is a lot of frost, right? A lot. A lot. And blanket. Count or non-count?
Count.
Count. Let's use it in a sentence.
What's blanket?
Blanket? What is a blanket? A blanket is something that you cover yourself with when you're sleeping.
Cold.
Yeah. So let's use blanket in a sentence. In the winter time, I cover up with many blankets, right? Many blankets. Good. Good job. You guys have a good understanding of count and non-count nouns.
Well, let's review of some of what the teacher said and add just a little bit to it. Do you remember some nouns are easy to count, like books? If you have more than one, you just give it a number. You say 1 book, 2 books, 3 books. And it's very easy to count. You point at them and just say 1, 2, 3. So when we make a count noun plural, you give it a number and you add s to it. And then there are other things that we don't treat that way. We have things like we said, like rice. Could you count all the individual pieces of rice in here, all the individual grains? No, I don't think so. It would take a very long time. So, do you remember the rule for what is a count noun and what is a non-count noun? If something is a liquid, like water, it's a non-count noun. If something is a gas, something like air or oxygen, it's a non-count noun. If something is a solid but it comes in many, many little pieces like rice or sand or snow or coffee, these are non-count nouns. So you can remember that rule. A liquid, a gas, or something that comes in small pieces is going to be a non-count noun. And then there are some collective nouns like garbage or furniture that you use one word but it refers to many pieces of things. And you remember that there are some expressions that we use to say there is a lot of something or a little of something. If we have count nouns, you have a few books, if you have a small number, or many books. If it's a non-count noun, you have a little rice or much rice. And some words work with both count and non-count nouns. These are words like some, any, and a lot. You can have some apples or some rice. You can have a lot of apples or a lot of rice. And we would say, do you have any rice? So some expressions work with both. Now, I hope this helps you to remember some of the things we learned about count and non-count nouns. It seems we're always asking questions. I ask them sometimes on these videos. I will say to you, do you remember what we learned in our last lesson? And that's a way of asking a question. We ask questions to get information in many cases, although we do it for other reasons as well. Now we have some words that we use a lot in our questions. Sometimes they are the first word in a question. Many of these words begin with WH. And so we have words like who, what, where, when, why, which, and how. How, of course, doesn't begin with WH, but these are important question words because they tell us the information we're looking for. And sometimes when we ask a question, we have to change the order of words in a sentence. So let's join the class as they begin to learn now about how to construct questions.
So we're going to move on to something you're really going to like. We're going to move on to asking questions. Do you like to ask questions? Yes.
That's my favorite thing.
It's your favorite thing. Well, this lesson is for you. Good. So, Vika, when is your birthday?
On 26th of October.
Okay. Marta, what is your mother's name?
Tanya.
Okay, my mother's name is Tanya. Okay, very good. Tanya, how many brothers or sisters do you have?
I have two brothers and two sisters.
Okay, good. How about Sasha? Who is your favorite singer? girls.
My favorite city is.
You don't know.
I don't favorite city.
You don't? I do not have a favorite singer. Very good. Okay. Did you hear some of the words that I used when I was asking you questions?
Yeah.
What are some question words? I want to see if you know first. Anybody know? Oh, I didn't ask you a question. What are some question words, Alisa? What are some words that we use to ask questions?
Do you have some brothers or sisters?
Okay, do you have? Oh, how about the one I used to ask you the question? What?
What is your mother's
Yeah, I'm saying what. I'm asking you what. I'm going to show you some of these. Here we go. Here's the first one. What? Okay, let's make a question with what. Ask me a question using what.
What is this?
Very good. What is this? When we're using what, we're trying to find out more information, right? About something. We've got another one. When? Let's use a question with when. When will you go out? Very good. When is asking about a time frame, right? Where? Where is Chernobyl? Very good. Where is asking about location. Maps, it's asking, that's right, about a location of something. Where is my watch? I don't know. It's on my wrist. Okay, next one. Which?
Which road you have to go?
That's right. Which road do we have to take? Now, which is asking for specific direction when there are many options. Okay. Oh, who is that? I don't know. Who is asking about a person, right? People.
Oh, who knows?
Who knows? That's not a question, though. That's right. That's your answer. And one more. How?
How do you do this?
How do you do this? Very good.
How many?
How many what? That's not a complete question. How many?
How many?
How many do you have?
Do you wear?
Oh, how many shoes did you buy? Oh, if you went shopping, maybe you bought a lot. That's right. So how many is actually asking about a set number of things. When we're asking how do you braid your hair? How do you clean your room? How do I do the dishes? How is asking for details on doing something. Okay? It's helping us to do something. So you guys are all very good. You know all of these. Now I want to ask you some more questions. Do you, we didn't have do in here. Do.
Yes, we do.
We do. Do you like studying?
Yes.
Yes. You'd answer, yes, I like studying, right? We would answer the full
Because
sentence.
yes,
Yes, I do. I do like studying, yes.
yes is like the complete.
Okay, another question. Which school is the best in your city? Which is the best school in your city?
15 school time.
Yours. My school is the best in our city. Okay, good. All of your schools would be the best, I think. You probably like all of them. Okay, who do you see every morning? I see my parents every morning. That's right, we're looking for people.
Let's review some of what the teacher said and see if we can add a little bit to it as well. There are certain important words in our questions, and each one of them is looking for different information. If I say to you, who, then you know that the answer to that question is going to be a person, because I'm asking about the person who did something. If I say, who did this, you might say, I did it, or my friend did it. If I say, what, then you know we're probably talking about an object or an event, an action. I could say, what is this? And you could tell me what it is. Or I could say, what did you do? And you would describe an action to me. So what will refer to a thing or an action. Why would refer to a reason. And if I said, why did you do this? I would expect you to explain what your reasons were for doing it. When, if I ask you when something happened, the answer will be a time. When are you going? You could say, I am going at 6 o'clock. Or if I had said, when did you come here? You could say, I came yesterday. So a time will be the answer. If I say where, then the answer will be a place. If I say, where are my keys? You could say, your keys are on the table. Or if I say, where are you from? You could say, I am from, and give the name of your country. If I say which, then you know there is more than one thing to choose from. If I say, which book should I read? You would choose one book out of the other books and say, read this one. Or if I say how in the question, how asks about a process or a manner. If I say, how did you clean the floor? You would explain to me the process or the manner by which you did it. So let's do a worksheet now. I will show you a question on the screen that has a blank in it, and you must choose the correct question word from the list of 3 that I will have on the screen. You must choose the correct one to make sense out of that question. Remember, the question word that you choose must be one that makes the question make sense. So don't choose who if the question is about a place, something like that. All right? So we'll show you the sentence with a blank. You must choose the correct word and call it out, okay? I will wait a moment and then I will give you the correct answer. Are you ready? Let's begin. Blank, didn't you clean your room? Why didn't you clean your room? Blank is teaching you. Who is teaching you? Blank caused the problem. What caused the problem? Blank kinds of people live here. What kinds of people live here? Blank sold the most books. Who sold the most books? Blank book won the prize. Which book won the prize? Blank pupils came to the lesson. How many pupils came to the lesson? Blank, did you buy that scarf? Why did you buy that scarf?
So, we're going to look at actually making sentences. You can just put your sheets down so that you're not looking at them right now, okay? We'll look at them later. We're going to look at writing questions and asking questions and how they're formed, okay? So, when I ask you a question, how do I make my sentence? How do I make my sentence? Or my question? Yeah, we start with these. And in a sentence, do you remember, we've looked at this before. Do you remember that every sentence has a subject?
Yes, subject.
And an object. Do you remember that? Every sentence has a subject, right? A subject is who or what the sentence is about, right? So we're going to look at how we're going to make question sentences. Let's take a look at some of these. Right here. We'll put this one up over here. That's not quite yet. Okay. Let's look at this. Let's read this statement, first of all. Ben built this house. That's a sentence. Who is the sentence about? Ben. Ben is our subject, right? Now, if we're asking, if I want to know who built the house, if I want to know about the subject of the sentence, I'm going to say who. Who built this house? Well, Ben built this house. So do you see that in order to ask about the subject of the sentence, we're going to ask using a question word that's looking for the subject, looking for the person. For example, if I wanted to know that Ben built the house, would I say, which built the house? No.
Who built the house?
Would I say, how? How did he build the house?
No.
No. If I wanted to know how he built the house, I would ask that. I want to know who built the house. Ben built this house. So he is our subject. Okay, let's take a look at another example. This one. Okay, so let's look. This one, I'm going to label this. This is asking a question to find the subject. Okay, let's read this one. John designed this cathedral. What did John design? This cathedral. This question is asking. Cathedral is a very large church. Okay? So, cathedral is what we're asking to find out. Cathedral is the object. Right? Who is the subject of the sentence? Who is the sentence about? John. But am I asking who built the cathedral? No, you're right, Ika. What am I asking? What did John design? I'm asking about the object of the sentence. So if I'm looking for the object, I'm going to ask, what did John design? That's right. In this case. Now, I've got something underlined here. What's this word that's underlined? Did. What is the word did? Did is the past of do, right? It's the past of do. What we're saying here is did is a helping verb. It's part of the verb phrase, okay? Something we call, I'm going to cover this up. Auxiliary verbs. Let me just get that out of the way. Auxiliary verb. To have, to be, to do. Will, shall, would. Now some of these are actually, we've already studied these in modals of possibility, right? So we're just going to look at to have, to be, to do, okay, and will. Let me write a question like this for you. Okay. Here.